Hey y'all, I'm going to pull up my data overview. So, this is over Eccles County Elementary School, and basically it's grade 3 through 5. Just overview of some milestone scores. So, here we go. Why do we need data? You can see my quote. It says, data by itself is useless. Data is only useful if you apply it. I know a bunch of us think that, why do we need data? Why is it important? Why are we having to always look at data? So, as educators, we can't keep teaching the same way and expect student growth. If we just get caught in a rut and we don't change our teaching styles to fit our students' needs, our data is going to reflect that. Before we can change, we must first identify the areas of strengths and weaknesses. And how do we find those? By using and looking and analyzing data. So here is Eccles County Elementary enrollment data. We'll be looking at data from the years 2016, 17, 17, 18, and 18, 19 compared to the state of Georgia. As you can see, Eccles County Elementary is very, very small because this is enrollment data for pre-K, or actually kindergarten through 5th grade students. So our enrollment also doesn't really fluctuate, too terribly much. So the next thing that we're going to look at is achievement data. The Georgia Department of Education requires schools to test elementary students 3rd through 5th grade using the Georgia milestones. And for a student to be proficient on a milestone, they must score a proficient, which is a level 3, or a distinguished, which is a level 4. And so here are kind of the different levels that you might see, when you get your milestone grading back. So a beginning learner typically gets a level 1, a developing learner gets a level 2, proficient is a level 3, distinguished is a level 4. And we're always looking for our students to be a level 3 or a level 4. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is 3rd grade state proficiency. Okay, so with this slide, we are going to look at 3rd grade milestone state proficiency for ELA and math by year. So let's look at our graph. As you can see, in 2016, we had a pretty good amount of proficient students in ELA in 3rd grade, and it declined a little in 2017 and declined even more in 2008. Oh, it rose again. ELA rose again in 2018. Now, let's look at math. Math has been on a steady decline. So 2016, our students did a lot better in 3rd grade than they have done in 2018. So that would be something that as a data coach I would want to look at. Is it because we've changed curriculum? Are we not spending as much time and focus on math? But you can definitely see the decrease in proficiency. Okay, our next slide. If it'll come up. Okay, so this is 4th grade milestone proficiency, and it's broken down into ELA and math as well by the school year. So you can see that math was pretty low in 2016 for fourth grade, but rose really high. I mean, that's an excellent amount of growth for 2017, and then fell again in 2018. And then with ELA, you have a pretty good percentage in 2016. It fell off a little bit in 2017, and we gained more proficiency in 2018. So this is really kind of hard to see any kind of a trend. It's just kind of all, for ELA, it's kind of all right there together. And then math, it would be interesting to go back and see what we were doing in 2017 to have such a big growth, and then to kind of fall back off in 2018. So this is fifth grade state test proficiency, and this is broken down into ELA, math, science, and social studies, because those are the content areas these students are required to take. So in 2016, you can see, we'll start with ELA. It's pretty high, and we've had a decline in proficiency every year since then. Then with math, we'll start with 2016. You can see that we had a decline in 2017 in math, and then it actually increased in 2018. And then for science, for 2016, we had a lot of proficient students in science, and it dropped drastically in 2017, and then rose again in 2018. And then social studies, we also see the same trend. We had 26.3 students in 2016. We went down a little in 2017, and then we had drastic growth in 2018. Looking at 2017's data for fifth grade, it would be interesting to see, what happened that year. Was it a testing year that maybe a whole bunch of those kids got sick, or did we have any, subgroups that were larger than others? I would definitely dig in deeper to this data to see how come there was such a decline in almost everything other than ELA for that school year. So when we look at our longitudinal data analysis, meaning we're looking at the data across grades, across content areas that are like the same. Georgia Milestone Data Analysis 2016, 2017, 2018. Fifth grade showed a constant trend of increased achievement in all areas. Fourth grade ELA shows a steady increase in proficiency. Fourth grade math shows an increase in proficiency from 2016 to 2017. And in 2018, math decreases from 2017 in that grade level. Third grade math and ELA decreased from 2016 to 2018. That's something that, we could go back and look and see, do we need to change curriculum? Do we need to add in some supplemental curriculum? Like, what's going on here? So, I just made a note, a change in curriculum to Georgia Ready in content areas should help increase Georgia Milestone scores. So actually in 2018, we did change curriculum to the Georgia Ready. And of course, we won't have data for this school year to really see how it has affected our student achievement. So this is a subgroup that I decided to pull out and look at the data on, and it's the proficiency of ELA milestone scores based on race, 3 through 5th grade. So because of Eccles being such a small school, our subgroups typically tend to be pretty small too. But you can see how our races performed in on the milestone. So our African American race, we only had data or enough students to make a subgroup for 1 year, and 20% of our African American population actually, they were proficient in ELA 3rd through 5th grade, which is pretty good. So, as you can see, though, there is a huge difference between our white population and Hispanic population on proficiency levels. And, this makes me question, is it we're not serving our Hispanic students correctly? Are they not being tested correctly? Do we need to look into more ESOL services? And I kind of sum this graph up on the next slide. So white students are achieving higher on ELA area of the Georgia milestone compared to African American and Hispanic subgroup. Should we increase services for our Hispanic population with ESOL services? We do not have enough data for the African American subgroup to see growth at this point. Hopefully over the next, couple of years when we start testing again, we will have enough students in this subgroup. Eccles County will need to continue to watch the African American students since there wasn't enough data for us to look at. And so how can we better serve those students to increase growth and achievement? That's something that we need to dig a little deeper in. And so I am going to challenge you all as professionals and teachers to look at this information, and we need to reflect on our own practices to influence students' achievements. We cannot change students' backgrounds or race, but we can change how we deliver the content with more services or in a way that's more helpful for non-English speaking students. What can we do to increase growth and achievement in all grades and content areas? And then it says, look objectively at your instructional practice. Drill down into your own area content data. So each teacher really needs to look at their data and what area are your students weakest in? Why do you think that? Is it because you're weak in that area? And how can we better serve each of our subgroups that we do have in Eccles? And so at the bottom of the slide, it says, remember our priority. That's our students. That's the number one. So I'm going to leave you with a little quote that I feel like really helps, when we get bogged down in data and we don't feel good about looking at data or using data. Maybe this little quote will change your mind, but if it says, if a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. And I felt like this is very true and very important. And if we're teaching the way they learn, we will see increase in achievement scores. Thank you.